Hello, Internet! How the hell are you? Well, anyways, this last weekend, I got to go to Comic-Con. That's right, in Seattle. Emerald City Comic-Con. What up? Well, anyways, I got to meet Max Brooks, the creator of World War Z, the most amazing zombie book ever written, and the writer of the Zombie Survival Guide, one of my favorite books. And it was an experience like no other. I found when you meet the person who you've been reading about forever and you love his work and you love everything about it, you forget to ask questions. You just keep complimenting on shit they already know about. So instead of saying stuff like, well, where do you see yourself going with this? Are you going to create more books? Are you going to use the same scenarios but in different situations? Will there be a graphic novel about World War Z? Could you turn it into a graphic novel? You end up saying shit like, you are amazing! I like you a lot, and sign this. And I kind of did that pretty much. It was amazing. But I ended up stumbling through most of it. Not to mention I brought my camera, but I only had 30 minutes of battery life. So I got less than a half an hour's worth of footage. I left with like 2 minutes left on my battery, and I swear to God, I took pictures. I took hundreds of pictures. And I will post a slideshow video later, but I'm going to let you guys watch the open forum, the Q&A session with Max Brooks, and I'm going to do it in 3 parts. This will be part 1, and there'll be 2 parts coming up. There's a third part will be when he talks about the World War Z movie. Hopefully I'll have them all up today, but there's a chance that I might put one up tomorrow. So, enjoy! What up? I'm Just In Case, and this was Just In Case You Missed It.
You turn on the news, all right? There's 50% local and 50% world. Because most other countries treat world news as their news. Well, what affects other countries affects us, because we all live on the same planet. Not in this country. You turn on local news, in 60 minutes, 59 minutes of Lindsay Lohan. Oh, and by the way, the Middle East is on fire. Very isolationist, and you see that in a lot of our books. You see that where whenever there's an international crisis, the other countries are sort of these templates, cartoon characters for us to come in and either save them or bomb them. Which is fine, until we start electing leaders that feel the same way. So I wanted this to be an international book, because the truth is, look, zombies are a global menace. And this is why I wrote World War Z the way I did, because when I wanted to write a zombie book, the problem was every other zombie story out there, at least at that point, they all were the same story. They were all like a guy or a group of people and their little story. They got to go from here to here, and or their adventures along the way. I have no problem with that. Some of them are told really, really well, and that's great. But I'm always wondering, what about ... What about the rest of the world? You know, when you watch Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, you see those little news shots? Those are the parts that I'm like, yeah, give me more, come on. How's the government dealing with it? How are other governments dealing with it? How are other cultures dealing with it? What happens when you have this incredibly complex web of international trade break down? I mean, I don't think most of us realize how interconnected the world really is. You know, when you get into your car, even if it says American, no, it's not. All the parts were built somewhere else. And all the resources to make those parts were mined somewhere else. Okay. There was a time when oil was cheap and the world was completely at peace, except for some place called Bosnia or whatever. Anyway, we didn't care, they didn't have oil. Anyway, the world was at peace, the economy was booming. The economy was booming so well, the president got to do dirty things you shouldn't hear about. And also, culture was different. Back then, vampire movies were popular because vampires were sleek and sexy. And back then, vampires also got to do dirty things, as opposed to now. Suck my blood, but don't touch my boobies. Anyway, back then, before vampires got boy banded, they were